Hi, everybody.
Start to record. Oh, there you go.
Mark's got the controls. So, we thought we would do a bit of an update video because it has been a very, very long time since we have done, or basically kept you guys up to date. So, gosh, it's been a really long time. So I probably ought to do a bit of an explanation. We had a pretty rough time as a family. Getting towards the end of the videos that you've last seen, or the last update ones that we did. We pretty much lost everything with the businesses, and we were going through that process, coming to terms with it, I guess, as a family, trying to understand what direction that we were going to go in. It's always a little bit challenging looking back, isn't it?
Yes, it's been a very busy 6-month period.
It's been, I would say, emotional. It's not just been busy, it's been very emotional. A lot of things to try and deal with, and I probably shut down quite a bit for some of it. I mean, you'll have to describe how that was because you experienced it while I was in it. This is when we were going through all the things with the insolvency of the companies. Like, COVID was a real issue for us in terms of the businesses. And then it had a huge knock-on effect. We were also we'd done our homeschool trial, and actually that was really successful, but we had a couple of consistent questions going around our head again and again and again, and that was, how were we financially going to be able to afford it? And also, was it really the right thing to do for our children, like, consistently? And it's been really interesting because it's almost a year as to when we were consistently having conversations about whether homeschooling was the right action to take, or whether it was a possibility. And I would say that since the homeschooling trial, we've still had this conversation quite a few times, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like, every few months it still comes up.
Yeah.
Like, do we homeschool? Did we make the right decision sending them back to school? And that just seems to be an ongoing thing. Since then, I think one of the biggest, I suppose, reasons that we didn't take it on was also because I'd had a job offer, one that we weren't really expecting.
Quite a few.
I did have quite a few, yes, but one of them I wasn't really expecting. It was a completely full-time position. It meant that
You got headhunted.
I could work from home. And that was really great. But yeah, there was possible other career progression involved with that. And it was great to begin with. But even that became a bit of a challenge. I really needed to be there in the office. And that would mean moving to Wolverhampton. We live in Devon, and that would have meant that Mark would have needed to find a new job, changing all the girls' schools, all of that type of thing, and it just really wasn't feasible. So that was unfortunate because I did really enjoy that, and there was some great people, great working environment, that type of thing. But luckily for me, I then got another position, still working from home. It's temporary, it's always been temporary. And we're just at the stage now where we're going, well, what do we do now? And actually, we have got a possibility of a completely different, I suppose, almost alternative lifestyle, but that will come in a different video. What do you want to say about, like, the updates and stuff that we've done? Because so much has happened. It's quite challenging going back.
Yeah. Even I'm trying to struggle to remember the last 6 months, so... I'm
not sure. I think it's probably...
everything, to be honest, yeah. I can't...
Yeah, it's not... Well, maybe
actually,
it's about
even you
6 months.
saying some of that stuff is a bit of a flashback.
Yeah. So we are going to be a lot more consistent with our posting. That would be good. Oh, I tell you what, there was we did make one huge decision, and that is for me to retrain. So I am retraining in nutritional health. And that's because of a number of different health conditions that I've personally had, that the girls have had, that you've had. And whilst we've been experiencing this, a lot of the things that we've gone through on modern medicine actually haven't been able to rectify the issue. A lot of it comes down to changing the nutrition you've actually had. But of course, many doctors don't understand nutrition, and modern medicine has its place and we wouldn't be without it. I'm extremely grateful for it, but we've also discovered that we needed to learn a lot more. The challenge with that is there's so much misinformation, should we say, and there's so many different things where you go backwards and forwards, that we decided that we would do this properly. It would help us as a family, it would help us with our health, and ironically we've always talked about living a limitless life, and that's what we're striving to do, but our health, I'd pretty much say that we've left until last, and really it needs to come first, and that's something that we've realised. So I'm retraining. That starts actually in a few weeks' time. That's going to be pretty tough for us as a family in terms of timing, what I need to do to be able to accomplish that. But actually that also then hopefully leads us back into a better financial situation of how we want to run the business and that type of thing. I'll be able to then start up a new business thereafter, which will be really good. And I go back to coaching, which was the thing that I loved doing as a business coach prior to this. That's definitely hands down the best thing I love doing. So doing this is going to be a game changer for us as a family. Anything you want to add?
Not really. I'm still trying to think of the last 6 months. It's been a bit of a snowball, hasn't it? It just seems to have like started and picked up loads of different things, and trying to remember all. It's quite something.
Yeah, I feel like we've glossed over so much.
It's like COVID all over again, isn't it? Those 2 years just seem to have blipped.
Yeah.
Like the Avengers.
So that's our update. Apologies that we haven't come to you in between. It was just really, I guess, more than anything from my perspective, as I tend to be the one that does a lot of the videoing and the editing and stuff, it was actually self-preservation. I found it really challenging coming to terms with a lot of the things, and the hard part is that you had all of that prior to it all kind of coming to a close, and I was working 12-hour night shifts at one point in time for quite a long period of time, and still working through the day. And so all of those things, they have a knock-on effect, and you get to a point where you're like coping and you're coping and you're coping, and you just keep going and keep going and keep going until one day you just can't keep going. And that's what happened. That's where I got to. And so that's why there's just been this period of just no communication. But we're back on it now, and look forward to bringing you family updates, and look out for our possible alternative lifestyle video, which will be coming up pretty much next.
Stay tuned.